And he lost all his fronts, top, bottom, all it was gone. He was leaking several stab wounds. Eye stabbed.
Back to it, what was the worst, if not the worst, the longest fight that you seen take place in prison?
Shit, the last lockdown we had, we watched it from the microwave room. Caught a white boy out there. The Mexicans caught a white boy out there on the yard. He had stole something out the old Mexican man cell, and the white boys that was over the car. You know, when you do shit like that, you know, they're basically, because you're putting the whole car in jeopardy by stealing, you know, so, because now the white boys and the Mexicans can clash. So to keep that from happening, what the white boys will do is they'll just throw you to the wolves and just tell the Mexicans, go with y'all move. And they caught him out there on the yard, and man, it was like on the 5 o'clock move, and it took about a good 8 minutes, 7-8 minutes for the staff to get to him, get him some help. And I think he got hit up probably like about 19 times, stabbed, and niggas was stabbing a man, beating him, you know. So it was kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it was. I felt for him watching it, you know what I'm saying, from inside, you know. It was a rough one. I done seen some shit, you know what I'm saying, but that was rough though.
8 minutes, that's like 2-3 rounds of boxing. That's a long little situation.
And he lost all his fronts, top, bottom, all it was gone. He was leaking several stab wounds. Eye stabbed. Yeah, it was rough, bro.
He survived it?
Yeah, he probably didn't want to survive, but he did. Yeah, it was that rough. You know, just imagine you get in a fight, you lose all your teeth, your eye. You cut up like the Michael Jackson jacket. There's zippers everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's rough, bro. You know what I'm saying? The man went home looking like somebody that his people not gonna even recognize.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
And that's from one theft.
One theft. Yeah. That's all it takes.
Shit.
That's one of the biggest no-nos. Is stealing in prison.
You mentioned the cars. Where does you mentioned like the Chinese, the Indians, what are those individuals who don't fit into any certain city, state? Well, like, where do they go? Like,
well, you know, those type of individuals, whether you Chinese, Indian, or whatever, you know, you either gonna join whatever car, wherever you from, because no matter what you are, you're gonna have a number on your uniform.
Yeah.
And if you from Tennessee, it was 076 at the end. So if you got that 076, then you're gonna sit at the Tennessee table when we go to chow. Or if you don't necessarily, because you had some niggas that wasn't hot, you had some niggas that wasn't child molesters that didn't necessarily rock with the homies. Because it do be a lot of messy shit go on in the cars or whatever, you know, niggas be hating and, you know what I'm saying, about a lot of little shit. You know, niggas gossip and do a lot of little sucker shit. So you got some niggas that can stand on their own, you know, it's rare, but some niggas that stand on their own, they feel like it's a lot of suckers in the car. So they'll go sit at the independent table and they don't care nothing about it, you know, because they know they ain't no rat, no punk or nothing like that, but they just don't want to be around whatever's going on, you know, in the car at that time. So they'll get away from it. It's rare, but it happens.
There's a show on Netflix, I forget the name of it, some lockdown show where they run an experiment to where they just say, we're gonna stop rolling the doors. We don't just keep the doors open. That means every prisoner gets to roam as free as they choose, in and out of each other's cell, do whatever. It's interesting. So it's an interesting experiment. They do it for 30 days.
Just in the unit?
Just in the unit.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't got to go 8 o'clock. You could come and go as you choose, sleep in and out of any room. The unit you was on, do you feel like that could have existed? Where?
Come on, where you can go in any room that you want to?
Just open?
No, in federal prison, they can't go, like, you know, because you can't even, you got to cell up with a homie. You know, you can't, that's just like.
So you don't think humans could start behaving in a situation where we could run a society where we don't have to kill each other. We don't have to fuck each other over.
Well, a lot of times, for the most part, in prison, it don't never get to that. It gets to, a lot of times, it's politics. They like to try to talk it out. Violence is the last option resort because everybody got so much going on. You don't never want, that fight could potentially shut the whole yard down.
Yeah.
Niggas selling phones, weed, fentanyl, everything, heroin. And so if it can be talked out, it will be talked out because niggas don't be wanting their money flow to stop. Niggas don't be wanting to stop talking to their girls, So only way some shit pop off is it ain't no other option, nothing that could be resolved. And then that's when it'll go there. But 9 times out of 10, that shit gonna get talked out.
When it comes to the inmate, who listens to who? Like when someone speaks that
It's
people
always, it's gonna be a spokesman or over the car, or some people would be like, that's who running the car. Some spots call it a spokesman or whatever, but that person, for the most part, what they say, is law, over.
Is that normally somebody up in age, somebody who's been at the unit
it's
the
somebody,
longest?
for the most part, it's gonna be somebody that's been there a long time. They got ranked majority of the time, they got a little age on them.
Yeah.
And but that person could get voted out as well. If they did some goofy wild shit, the car could come together and put somebody else in their position. It's just like democracy.
In the free world, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, president get locked up or whatever, they gonna overnight put somebody else in their position. An interim or some shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we never ever do these stories to celebrate going to prison. We don't try to do it to glorify. We really try to just, teach people a little learning lesson as far as having these little sit downs and these stories. With that being said, any advice you could give to any young individuals that was probably leading a life like yours to where, they might have a gun charge, they might be doing this, doing that. As far as advice you could give them is to stay out of prison, to reason not to go to that motherfucker.
Just don't make the mistake that I made. I was running track, very athletic, had scholarship offers. Don't get caught up in the street life, the fast money, the flashy cars, and I still, when I first got in the streets and got to doing what I was doing, selling marijuana at school, I still wanted to go to college in the beginning. I still wanted to make my grandmama and my mom proud.